Hello and welcome back to the Caleb James channel. If you haven't yet, smash that subscribe button, tickle the notification bell, let me know you love me or hate me through those comments, and let's keep interacting. All things UFC, Caleb James channel. Let's break down what we just saw Saturday night, UFC 296. It was a banger. It had some flubs. It had a little, it honestly wasn't the best card in the world, but that's okay because we got plenty of other cards coming, but let's break down this card. First off, the first fight we will break down is a fight I actually didn't predict because it was a last-minute replacement. Wow. I got a little baby stash growing in. I never thought, I can grow facial hair. But, yeah. So, Josh Emmett versus Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell. It didn't last very long, much like myself. And Josh Emmett put Bryce Mitchell down in one of, if not, the KO of the year contender. Holy crap. Overhand right for Emmett, slipped off the center line while Bryce Mitchell was throwing a jab. Absolutely cracked him, sent him to the shadow realm. Bryce Mitchell was twitching on the ground like a rabbit that just got run over by a semi, and it was a very, very, very sad scene. Josh Emmett back on the rise. Who knows what's next for him? Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell back to the drawing board. Little re-evaluation. Next fight, Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. All right, I picked Tony, and Tony did not get the job done. His losing streak extends to 7 straight losses, and Paddy Pimblett extends his UFC winning streak to 5. Yeah, 5 straight wins in the UFC for Paddy Pimblett. Time for him to start fighting up. Who knows what's next for that son of a gun, but I know what's next for Tony Ferguson. We need Tony to retire, okay? Tony's got to retire. That was just unfortunate. And his skills just aren't what they used to be. His endurance is still there, but his chin is still there, kind of, but he's just getting thoroughly outclassed in every match he's in. It started off in the beginning of the losing streak as little spots of brilliance, but then ultimately losing the fight. It's not like that anymore. He's just getting thoroughly outclassed. It's time for Tony to retire. It's time for Paddy to fight up. Not just names, not just building him anymore. It's time for him to start fighting contenders. Good fight for Paddy. Honestly, I think he should have got the finish, but whatever. Next fight, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I predicted Shavkat by finish, and that's exactly what we got. The fight started off a little bit labored, a little bit... I think Stephen was giving Shavkat not issues on the feet. He never hurt him or anything, but he was confusing him, which led Shavkat to have a much more wrestling-heavy approach. He did, and he ultimately got the submission in the second round. Shavkat, if not a title fight, needs to fight someone in the top 4 or 5, maybe top 3. And Stephen Wonderboy Thompson might be looking at retirement himself. I know he always wants to fight for the title, but his wrestling chops just aren't there to be able to hang with the elite of the division, in my humble opinion. But I love Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, so it's hard. You see these fighters that you absolutely freaking love, and you see them decline because of age and because of damage they've taken, and it's hard. It's a hard photograph to look at. All right? All right. So, next fight, Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. Alexander Pantoja wins by dominant decision. Honestly, Brandon Royval didn't really show up. He was competitive, but he just got thoroughly outclassed. I predicted Pantoja, and I was correct! Because, honestly, it's just... his boxing was better. His wrestling was better. It was kind of a boring fight. Pantoja's still the champ. He'll fight the winner of Moreno and that other fool. And, yeah, I don't know what's next for Brandon Royval. Back to the drawing board. Got to win a couple more fights before he gets another crack at a title. And that's how it's going. So, main event. Colby Covington versus Leon Edwards. I predicted a Leon Edwards victory, and that's what we got. Leon Edwards showed up. He looked crisp. His striking looked fast, and he actually out-wrestled Colby. Colby taught so much crap in the press conference leading up to the fight. He brought up Leon Edwards' dead father and said he'd see him in hell. It got very nasty. It got very nasty. A lot of UFC fighters and a lot of other fans are turning on Colby this week because He crossed some lines. He crossed some lines and he didn't back it up. That's the hardest to see when a fighter crosses the lines and doesn't back it up. He showed up. He didn't fight for 3 rounds. Kind of started to turn it on the 4th round and then ended up winning the 5th round. Leon Edwards wins a decisive, dominant 49-46 victory. Colby did absolutely nothing in first 3 rounds, at just circling away, getting his legs blasted like your mother. So it was hard to watch because Colby didn't bring it the way he usually brings it. Some people will blame it on his age. Some people will blame it on pressure. I'm one of the people in the contention that he kind of just choked a little bit. I still think he doesn't have a ton of damage in his UFC career. And I just don't... I know he hasn't been active, so that definitely plays to the argument that he's slowing down. But I don't know if he's slowing down. I think he just didn't show up that night, and you have nights like that. So Leon Edwards, still the champ. I'd like to see Islam Makhachev go up and fight Leon Edwards, maybe. That'd be an interesting fight. I think we all know, no matter how much you hate him or no matter how much we talk crap about him on the videos, Belal Muhammad is next. Belal Muhammad deserves a shot at the title. And I'd say next, Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad too. Colby Covington, he said he wanted to fight Wonderboy in the post-fight, but I think he should fight Shavkat. I think that'd be a very, very interesting fight, grappling exchange-wise. Thank you guys for listening to my breakdown. This is just a quick little video breaking down UFC 296 and what we just saw. Give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscription, and if you haven't yet, yeah, a little subscribe would make me a happy boy. Thank you guys so much for watching. God loves you, your family loves you, hopefully, and even if they don't, I love you. The teacher's always quiet during the test, and as always, stay blessed.